Hello everybody, welcome to the Ultimate Scouting Show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Today we have our Week 8 Power Rankings. We are going to be going through all 32 teams, kind of see where they line up right now against the rest of the league. We're going to talk about all the games in Week 7, kind of what we think about that as well. Another crazy week of NFL action. A lot of the teams in that 15-5 range are really tough to rank. So let me know down in the comments below if you agree with my rankings, especially in that area. It's pretty tough to rank, so let me know. At number 32, we have the Houston Texans. They moved down one spot here. A familiar team in this spot, unfortunately. They just looked really bad against the Raiders. They dropped 1-5-1. They just haven't been good at all. I mean, the offense really couldn't get anything going with Davis Mills. Dameon Pierce has been good once again, but they just aren't explosive offensively. Defensively, they've let the Raiders run all over them. But honestly, I didn't think that this was a poorly coached game by Lovie Smith. I still think that he's done a pretty decent job this year. They just lack a lot of talent, but I do think they're headed in the right direction. I do think you're feeling pretty good about drafting a franchise quarterback right now. I don't think Davis Mills prevents you from doing so, and it's good that you know that. So the Texans drop into this spot here, moving down one after a loss to the Raiders. At number 31, we have the Carolina Panthers moving up one spot here. I was pretty impressed with their performance against the Buccaneers. They win 21-3. PJ Walker came in and had a really good game. He is going to be the starter moving forward. Got good production out of DJ Moore. Defense really stepped up. They looked really good against a Buccaneers unit that just can't get anything going at all. They stopped the run really effectively. Tom Brady, and he just wasn't in sync with his wide receivers. This was a good performance from the Panthers. This is a lot more what I was expecting last week. You have to remember, all these guys are playing for their jobs, whether that's Steve Wilks, the coach, whether that's PJ Walker. He came into the year as the fourth string quarterback. The fact he's going to be the starter now is kind of crazy. He's going to put absolutely everything out on the line there. There's just that little bit of extra fight that you get after a coach is fired. So good win for the Panthers. I don't think it'll amount to a whole lot, but you move to 2-5. That's definitely good there. At number 30, we have the Detroit Lions moving down two spots here. The Lions have been really disappointing this year. They came out, they were at least fun to watch because their offense was really good. Their defense was terrible, but they were putting up points. Every game was a shootout. Now, the last 2 weeks, the Lions have looked really porous offensively. They were in this game against the Cowboys most of the way through. They were up 6-3 at halftime. The offense just couldn't get going, and then it was 4 back-breaking turnovers in the second half that just did it in. Jared Goff is not it. I mean, I think that there were some people that were like, oh, maybe you can build around him. He isn't that bad. He's proven the past couple of weeks you need a guy in there that can elevate the offense, elevate the players around him. One good thing in this game, Aiden Hutchinson looked good. He had a pretty dry spell there, so that's good to get him going a bit. Not an impressive game for the Lions. Dan Campbell, as much as I love him, he's got to start winning games. Otherwise, his time in Detroit is going to be coming to an end. Hopefully, they're able to get back on the right track. At number 29, we have the Washington Commanders. They pick up their third win of the season. They move to 3-4, but we still have them ranked in this spot here. They got a big win over the Packers. Taylor Heineke has brought some extra energy, some extra juice to that offense. He's just throwing it up to Terry McLaurin, and it's working. I mean, defensively, there's still a lot of problems on this team. I still don't think that they're necessarily have a lot of sustained success with this method, but it's a good win. And you beat a struggling team in the Packers. That is a good win for the Commanders. Just not a whole lot of really bad teams right now. There's just so much parity, so they're not going to move very far at all. Number 28, we have the Chicago Bears moving up 2 spots. They defeat the Patriots on Monday Night Football. They had a really good performance. This is by far the best that I have seen the Bears this year. Justin Fields looked way more comfortable operating this offense than he has in the past. The defense stepped up. Roquan Smith had a really good game. I was really impressed. Bailey Zappi had a couple of nice plays when he first came in, but this defense kind of adjusted. They figured it out. They play so hard for Matt Eberflus. He has done a really good job putting a culture of fight and toughness on that defense. And it's translating to the offense as well. Khalil Herbert, David Montgomery both look good in the run game. Justin Fields looked way more comfortable just escaping pressure. He is so fast. You still got to get the passing offense going a bit more, but they've done a really good job kind of opening this offense up, allowing Justin Fields to be successful. They ran a lot more design quarterback runs. They even ran some option plays. I don't expect the Bears to win a ton of games this year, but that was a crucial win. At number 27, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 2-5 here. They remain in this spot. They kept it close against the Dolphins on Sunday Night Football. Kenny Pickett had a couple of back-breaking interceptions at the end of this game. It's unfortunate. He has had some tough goes of it with the interceptions, but the fact he has 7 already is not great. George Pickens looks legit. The offense just hasn't gotten going, though. Defensively, they looked a lot better in this game. You were able to limit a lot of the things that the Dolphins wanted to do. Tua tried to throw like 4 picks to them, but they couldn't catch any of them. You just got to take advantage of the opportunities you're given defensively. They need to do a better job of that. You sit at 2-5. Your season's in a pretty rough spot right now. Hopefully you get TJ Watt back soon enough, and you're able to kind of get this thing rolling, because Mike Tomlin has never had a losing record. I think that is certainly in jeopardy right now. At number 26, we have the Cleveland Browns. They also sit at 2-5 after a loss to their division rival, the Baltimore Ravens. They made this game close at the end, but they weren't able to pull through. Jacoby Brissett has now officially looked bad for the past couple of weeks, which makes me think that this is really what he is, as most of us figured he was going to be. He came into the year as a backup quarterback. Everyone knew that was the caliber of player that he was, but he looked really good the first couple of games. They were relying on the run game. He wasn't making mistakes. He has made too many mistakes the past couple of weeks. They couldn't get their offense going too well, but it's the defense. The defense is the main problem of this team here, and that's what makes me concerned about their future for when Deshaun Watson comes back. This offense, they can still score points. You can run the ball effectively. Getting good quarterback play will be key. But this defense can't stop anyone right now. It's not a good unit. It's not well coached at all. I just think that there's too many issues on this team, and you're digging yourself too big of a hole. They've got some tough matchups coming up as well. You've got to win a couple of them to keep your season afloat. I'm not sure if they'll be able to do that. At number 25, we have the Denver Broncos. They moved down 4 spots here. This offense under Brett Rippon was still terrible. I mean, no one was surprised by that, but this offense is so painful to watch because this defense is so good. Azira Evero has done a great job coordinating this defense. Baron Browning is a great player at edge. No one really expected that. Pat Surtain has been a great corner this year, one of the best corners in the NFL. They've just played so well defensively, and their offense continues to let them down week after week after week. And I get it, you didn't have Russ this week, but it's been so bad for weeks and weeks. You've got to get things going. Hackett is an offensive-minded coach. You've got to be better. They haven't been. Disappointing for the Broncos. Have to move them down here. At number 24, we have the Atlanta Falcons. They actually move up 1 spot here. That's just because the Broncos moved down. They got pretty much handled the entire game by the Cincinnati Bengals. They were down the entire game, and Mariota still only threw 13 passes. I just think that shows that Arthur Smith doesn't trust him. He doesn't believe in this passing game much at all. I wouldn't be at all surprised to see them move to Desmond Ridder soon, because at least he gives you that upside, and you need to know what you have in Ridder before the draft and potentially taking a franchise-level quarterback. This run game was effective. They had a couple of drives where they were able to really get things going. Mariota on the ground was effective, and they have some really nice flashes. They've looked good, and they're technically tied for the top of the NFC South because it's so terrible right now. So I'm not throwing away the season at all. I think Arthur Smith's a great coach as well, but make the move to Desmond Ridder. See what you can get in the passing game with him. He's clearly a higher upside player than Mariota. Defensively, they were really banged up in this game. They couldn't cover any of the Bengals receivers at all. Joe Burrow pretty much just shredded them, tore them apart. So not a good performance for the Falcons, but I do think that there's some things that this Falcons team does really well that is sustainable. At number 23, we have the New Orleans Saints at 2-5. This team just looks like every single week they should turn the corner, and they haven't. This offense has actually been pretty good the past couple of weeks under Andy Dalton. I know he had the 2 terrible pick sixes in this game on Thursday Night Football against the Cardinals. They had some rough plays offensively, no doubt about it, but this defense, which I expected to be one of the better units in the NFL, has not looked good. The pass rush sucks. Cam Jordan does not look like the same player. Marcus Davenport's not getting things going as much as he should be. They just can't make things work defensively. They sit at 2-5, and the NFC South's wide open, so the season's not over, but you've got to start stacking some wins somewhere. At number 22, we have the Raiders. I moved them up 2 spots here. I'm excited about this team. I think they're definitely on the right track. I wanted to push them a little bit higher, but 2-4 right now isn't the best. They have shown fast improvement the past couple of weeks. Josh Jacobs really got going. He is their identity of the offense right now. Just pound the rock with Josh Jacobs, and it's worked. They put up 38 points. I know it was against the Texans, but a great get-right game. You kind of beat up on a bad team like you should. Josh McDaniels looks like he called a really good game here. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Waller, all these guys, they're starting to come into the fold. They're starting to work things out. So I'm excited for the direction of this team. The defense has looked better the past couple of weeks as well. So they're on the right track. I'm going to try to push them higher if they keep winning. So good for the Raiders. They were a team I was high on coming into the year. Really slow start, obviously, but I believe in the talent on this roster. At number 21, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars moving down 3 spots here. They're 2-5, much like the Saints. They feel like they should turn the corner at any point this year. They had it on the goal line against the Giants in this game, couldn't punch it in. The Giants come out with crucial stops at crucial moments like they have every single game this year, it feels like, and they get the win, and the Jaguars move to 2-5. This team is so disappointing. They have the talent. Trevor Lawrence has played pretty well. You get ETN going. You've got some really nice things going offensively, and they just can't put it all together. And it's really frustrating. This should be a better team. At number 20, we have the New England Patriots losing against the Bears on Monday Night Football. Bailey Zappi came into the game for Mac Jones. This is a true quarterback controversy at this point. It's going to be a very short leash for both of them because you feel capable with both of them in there. Mac Jones obviously didn't have a good game, but I think they're both perfectly fine quarterbacks. I think you can operate an offense well with both of them. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mac Jones traded if Bailey Zappi does win the job, perhaps to Indianapolis, who we'll talk about next. At number 19, we have the Colts here. Matt Ryan gets benched after this game, which is just kind of crazy. I know he's had terrible stats. He has the most interceptions, the most fumbles, the most sacks of any quarterback this year. He hasn't looked good, and you lose a crucial game to the Titans. Had they won this game, they would have been right in the thick of it for the AFC South crown. Now you feel really bad about where they're at. I just don't think the direction of this team is good, and that's why it sounds like Jim Irsay is the one that stepped in and said, no, we're going to start Sam Ehlinger the rest of the year, which seems kind of like a way of tanking where he's probably going to suck, but hopefully you're able to get a high pick, draft a good quarterback. Maybe you have to trade up a little bit, but maybe it's going from 8-2 instead of 15-2, which is going to take a lot more draft capital. So I understand the reasoning behind it, but it just feels like such a waste. This Colts team has a lot of talent right now. The offensive line's bad, but it's just so disappointing. This defense should be playing better. You have enough weapons in theory that you should be an explosive offense. They just haven't been. So I understand why you bench Matt Ryan, but man, just not a good look for this team. At number 18, we have the Arizona Cardinals moving up to 3-4. We have them moving up 5 here after a huge win on Thursday Night Football. And DeAndre Hopkins being back really opened up this offense. Kyler Murray looked way more comfortable. Hopkins had a great game in this one, and it just looked so much more confident and comfortable. It was just a really interesting performance. The defense played really well as well. They've looked much better the past couple of games, and credit to them. I thought they were one of the worst units in the NFL coming into the season. They haven't played that poorly, so good for them. I'm not 100% convinced on them, obviously, as voiced my concerns about Kingsbury and Murray and this offensive structure, this defensive talent. There's a lot of issues still, but a huge win for the Cardinals here. You get things back on track. Hopefully Hopkins is able to kind of elevate this offense to the next level. At number 17, we have the Green Bay Packers down 5 here. You just can't put the Packers higher than this, I think. I mean, they've truly been abysmal to watch the past couple of weeks. You lose to the Commanders, who are one of the worst teams in the NFL this week. This team's broken fundamentally. Rodgers doesn't look like he trusts any of his receivers. They're all hurt now anyway. It's just bad. You can't get anything going offensively. The defense is too talented to be playing the way that they are, and the offense is too talent deprived at key positions that Rodgers is not looking good. This offense looks broken, and I don't think you can put them higher than this right now. They just do not look like a contender at all. Obviously, the NFC is wide open. The NFC North right now is owned by the Vikings, but just it's still early. But right now, based on what we have seen, the Packers should not be higher than 17. At number 16, we have the Seattle Seahawks. They have been the surprise of the season, moving up a couple spots here. Geno Smith continues to look good, but Kenneth Walker got absolutely going on the ground today. Would not surprise me if he wins Offensive Rookie of the Year with the way he has looked so far. He's just so hard to bring down. Geno Smith's just operating this offense really well. No DK Metcalf. Marquise Goodwin steps up and has a huge game. It's just such a good offense for whatever reason. I mean, it's not the most talented. It's not the best coached, I don't think, either. But Geno Smith's playing like a top quarterback in the NFL. Kenneth Walker is an exciting, amazing young running back. You've got some weapons. The offensive line's playing well. And this Seattle draft class is absolutely off the charts. You get Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas starting at tackle. To get bookend tackles in one draft class is nuts. That's great. They're both playing well. Not to mention you get Kenneth Walker, who's been in the identity of your team the past couple of weeks. He has been so good. Oh yeah, we also got Tariq Woolen, who is a defensive rookie of the year candidate right now with how he's playing. He's been awesome find in the 5th round. You also get Boye Mafe, who's had some nice flashes. Kobe Bryant has had some nice flashes as well. This is such a good draft class, and it's really propelling them to the heights that they're seeing right now. They're atop the NFC West right now, just like we all expected. I definitely didn't have them as the worst team in the NFL coming into the season, but this offense has looked really good. This defense has looked much better the past couple of weeks. They're on the right trajectory. I don't know that they're the most talented team, but yeah, in the NFC, why not? Why are they not contenders? At number 15, we have the Buccaneers down 10 spots here. A massive drop for them. An embarrassing loss against the Panthers here. It was terrible. The defense looked bad pretty much the whole game. The Panthers just traded away their best offensive weapon. I mean, PJ Walker and DJ Moore were just tearing them up. Deontay Foreman had over 100 yards. He was crazy good in this game, but this Bucs defense looks broken. And this is the part that you really expect to be the same. Arians obviously an offensive guy. Todd Bowles stepping into a larger role. This defense just doesn't look the same. I don't know if it's because Bowles can't give it as much attention. I don't know if it's because they just haven't gotten the pass rush up front, or Devin White's played really poorly so far this season, but they've just not looked good this year at all, defensively. And offensively, the offensive line is atrocious. Luke Goedeke is terrible. The wide receivers not getting open for Brady. Brady doesn't trust pretty much anyone, it seems. And the run game is literally, like, since week 3, on pace to be the worst in NFL history. They cannot run the ball at all. They won't run play action off of it. It's just been such a pathetic year for the Buccaneers, to be honest. I mean, it's harsh, but they've looked pathetic the past couple of weeks. They obviously have the talent to get things right. The NFC sucks. The NFC South sucks even more, but man, this is a rough spot to be in for the Buccaneers right now. They got to get things going. At number 14, we have the Rams. They were on a bye week this week. Not much to talk about there. They remain in this spot. At number 13, we have the Titans. They move up 2 spots here. A big win over the Colts in this game. Derrick Henry has just been efficient. He's not quite as explosive as he has been in the past, but he's just been efficient. They continue to be sound defensively. Jeffrey Simmons had a great game in this one. They're the best team in the AFC South because all the other teams suck, but sometimes that's enough. And so good for the Titans, get a big win, and they're right back into the thick of things. I probably was a little quick to say they suck. They're not a bad team. I don't think they're one of the premier teams in the AFC like they were last year. I think they are a pretty good team. They'll host a playoff game because they'll win the AFC South. So at that point, anything can happen. At number 12, we have the Jets moving up 5 spots here. Now, there's some good news and some bad news for the Jets. Obviously, a huge win this week over the Denver Broncos. They looked good. They were scrappy. They fought it out. The bad news is Breece Hall done for the year. Elijah Vera Tucker done for the year. Those have been your 2 best offensive players so far this season. So those are big losses. The defense has been awesome. They're going to step up. Sauce Gardner continues to be an absolute amazing player. But this offense is in a bad place. Zach Wilson's going to have to take on a larger role. I like the trade for James Robinson, but no Breece Hall, no Elijah Vera Tucker is going to hurt this team. Zach Wilson has to step up. He hasn't done much at all since coming back, but he's going to have to take a larger role in this offense. We'll see how that goes. At number 11, we have the Dolphins up 2 spots here. Tua didn't look great in his first game back. The offense looked a lot more efficient, but Tua was doing everything in his power, it seemed, to throw interceptions, and the Steelers just weren't catching them. There were 4 passes just dropped by the Steelers. Tua's got to get better about that. There's just been too many times that he doesn't lead the receiver enough, or he just trusts his arm too much, and he doesn't have that good of an arm, so he just doesn't fit it into the tight window. So he's just got to be smarter about where he can put the ball, what decisions he's making. You've got the playmakers, just get it in their hands and let them make plays. Defensively, they look good once again. The Steelers' offense kind of sucks, but it's just been a sound defensive team all year. So really, they're headed in the right direction. The AFC East is an absolute beast, but this is a good team right now. At number 10, we have the LA Chargers. They stay in this spot once again. I think this is their 3rd or 4th week in a row being ranked to number 10. But man, they lose to the Seahawks in this game, which was disappointing, obviously. But you lose J.C. Jackson, you lose Mike Williams. I mean, this team is so injured right now, but injuries are not their only issue. Justin Herbert doesn't look healthy right now. He doesn't look the same player. He's had way too many mistakes the past couple of games. The offensive line is continuing to play decently, but there's just no one for Herbert to throw to. Mike Williams hurt. Keenan Allen's been hurt. Their receiver core is just terrible now. Defensively, no Joey Bosa, obviously. Now no J.C. Jackson, who wasn't playing well to begin with, but losing him still hurts. This is banged up. They're not headed in the right direction. I think Brandon Staley probably should get fired. And I know Chargers fans probably don't like hearing that, but he's just been so bad. This roster is way too talented to be in this position, and they have been in this position consistently over the past 3 years. He needs to do more. This defense is, I really don't even think, well coached. They just sit back, they play their quarter scheme all the time, and it just doesn't work. So I would move on if I were the Chargers. But disappointing for the Chargers to lose that game. You're still in the thick of it in the AFC West at 4-3, but they just haven't impressed me much at all so far this year. At number 9, we have the 49ers. Obviously, you get kind of steamrolled by the Chiefs. This defense sucked in this game, but you were missing still some key pieces. The Chiefs executed an amazing game plan against this defense. Andy Reid pulled out all kinds of jet sweeps, jet motions, shovel passes, whatever it was to beat those. It just makes rushing from those front 4 guys for Nick Bosa and all those other guys a pain because you don't know where the ball ever is going to be. Andy Reid just called a great game. Patrick Mahomes tore him apart. This offense looked okay, actually. Christian McCaffrey got in there a little bit. Didn't do a whole lot, but he'll be more involved moving forward. They had some nice plays, but at some point, the Chiefs were just better in this game. I still think the 49ers are a good team, though. I'm not ready to give up on them. I think their defense is going to bounce back for sure. Their offense looks to be in a better place. So, and a good point to be for the 49ers. I think that you're going to see some wins start to stack up soon. At number 8, we have the New York Giants moving up 3 more spots here into my top 10. Good for the Giants. Another win. I don't really know how they're doing it. Another crazy stop on the goal line. But you make it work, you make it happen, and the Giants continue to show they know their identity. They're going to play you really tight. They're going to frustrate you. And Daniel Jones is apparently going to run for 100 yards. Him and Barkley both had over 100 yards in this game. They just couldn't stop the run game, and the Giants took advantage. So it's a good win. They know how to win, and it's legitimate at this point. I mean, 6-1 is absolutely nothing to scoff at. I don't think they're the most talented team in the NFL, but in a weak NFC, they're going to make the playoffs probably just simply because of how good Brian Daboll is as a coach. At number 7, I have the Cincinnati Bengals moving up 2 spots here. Their offense really looked unlocked in this game. Joe Burrow threw for like 420 yards. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, all were so close to being over 100 yards. Higgins was, I think, 7 yards short. So definitely a great game for their playmakers. They got the run game going a little bit. And besides like 2 drives defensively, there was one breakdown by Eli Apple and then one where they just kind of let the Falcons methodically march down the field. But they looked really good in this game pretty much from the very start. The offense looked like they were cooking with gas. And the big difference is they're just taking everything under shotgun. You spread them out, you let Joe Burrow see the entire field, and he's picking people apart. Obviously, we'd love to see it against better competition, but some of the throws he was making, it doesn't matter who you're throwing against. That touchdown to Jamar Chase in double coverage was just absolutely perfection. So at some point, it doesn't matter who's guarding them. If it's a good throw, it's a good throw. So great for the Bengals moving up a couple spots here. At number 6, we have the Cowboys moving up a few spots as well. I wasn't super impressed with their offense in this game, but getting Dak back, I think is going to be really key for this offense, being able to throw the ball a little bit easier. Just it's a little less manufactured. Dak just has the ability to process the field and find open guys. Obviously, it wasn't his best performance. They kind of pulled away at the very end there, but it was a good game. Tony Pollard just looks explosive every time he gets the ball. Zeke took a huge shot in this game, looked all right, but this doesn't really change my opinion of the Cowboys too much. I thought they played really sound defensively. I thought their offense looked good, but a little bit just slow to start. I think once you get Dak up to speed, things are going to be really exciting. Moving into our top 5, we have the Baltimore Ravens at number 5 here. I haven't been ridiculously impressed by the Ravens this year, but these teams are so difficult to rank. I think you could put the Ravens behind a bunch of these teams as well, but you finally get the win against the Browns here. You close out a game, which is really what the finally is all about. They've been so bad closing out games. This time, you kind of let the Browns back into it, and then you shut them down. Block field goal kind of wins it for you. So a big, big win for the Ravens. Definitely important for them to be able to just kind of get that monkey off their back. Okay, we can win in close games. We can win after having a lead in the fourth quarter. Now you're kind of right on track there. Lamar Jackson didn't have a great game in this one, but it was a good performance from this Ravens defense. So things to build off of for the Ravens there. At number 4, we have the Vikings. They were on a bye week, didn't play, so obviously not too much to talk about there. At number 3, we have the Chiefs. They have a big win over the 49ers this week. Offensively, they just look so explosive. Patrick Mahomes continues to do just amazing things with mediocre talent at receiver. Obviously, Travis Kelce is an elite tight end, but Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman all had huge games in this one. So really credit to Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes getting the most out of this offense. Defensively, they were okay in this one. Some things to clean up, but a good performance from the Chiefs in this game. At number 2, we have the Eagles. They were on a bye week as well. They remain in this spot as the only undefeated team in the NFL. And then at number 1, we have the Buffalo Bills, also on a bye week this week. So these top couple of teams don't really change at all, but the Bills continue to just have the most explosive offense. I think they are probably the most talented roster in the NFL, so that's why they remain in that number 1 spot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support in this video. Please, if you liked this video, go down, give it a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button, trying to get 50 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support. I'm going to be putting out content just like this, power rankings, weekly predictions. We have a lot of draft content coming up as well. So if you like those things, please subscribe to this channel. It would mean so much to me. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Thanks.